Hi, and welcome to the Making the Media podcast with me, Craig Wilson. Thanks a lot for taking the time to join us as we discuss the big topics and challenges in the news, media, and entertainment business. In this episode, we are focusing a bit more on the technology side of the industry with my guest, Miro Ambra. Miro is the Chief Technology Officer of Traco Systems, based in Bratislava in Slovakia. Traco started off their journey in the media business in the early 1990s as an Apple reseller working with Media Composer, before expanding into more enterprise scale environments to include system integration capabilities. In addition, they also have a large software development team. They've worked with many broadcasters in Central Europe, delivering a range of solutions from major industry vendors, including Avid. In recent years, their graphics integration for Viz with Avid's MediaCentral has seen them expand into other territories, with large news customers in the UK, Spain, and the Middle East. Part of their portfolio includes AI tools, and they're now working on creating an AI-generated news presenter. We'll talk about all of that, but first we discussed efficiency in news workflows, something Miro identifies as a requirement of the industry today.
So the world and also news production change recently and changing from day to day. So recently there was very usual to have a lot of small TV station substances over the countries or bigger countries. Right now, everything is more centralized. Of course, browser-based application help us as well. So because it's not necessary to install every single client to the computers, join into the network, etc., etc. So means that it's not now. It's really easy. Just to open the browser, write down the URL path or create a bookmark and log into the system from literally any part of the world. So it's right now we are not tied with the location. So this is very key, and therefore we did this development for the Traco application, like this integration exactly to have all those tools which are necessary for the journalists, for the production of the news, right into the fingertips of the journalists. So just to have one unified, centralized desktop, which works on a browser, standard browser. So not necessary to have some significant, huge or powerful hardware. Everything is driven on the server side. Of course, servers must be powerful, and calculate and process all the tasks. But the client part, it's very thin and it's easy to maintain, easily to maintain, because we have to maintain just the server part. And of course, artificial intelligence. This is the future. I guess that so it will help. So everybody know ChatGPT and maybe a lot of your watchers using it on daily basis for reviewing the text for the emails, for the communication, etc. And when this is the future. So journalists can much easily and quickly do the review of the text for the prompter, for example, for the story. They can find easily the sources for the stories and check the sources. Everything, I think it goes like on the roller coaster. It's more speedily and more fast. So every time for reach out the information as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. And this is the goal. And hopefully artificial intelligence well managed artificial intelligence will help.
You mentioned an important thing there about information coming from verified sources. You talked about, agencies and things like that. So when you're talking about AI with customers, are there concerns that they have about what AI can mean, and how do you try to address them?
Right now, it's difficult to let's say develop something from scratch. So because there are companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, other company which have really powerful models, AI models. So we just have an option, chance to utilize it for the usage for the journalists. So, and I think this is the work of the integrator, because so the general model can use everybody. So, but we have to utilize it for the newsroom purposes. So, and create something like, let's say, side database for these common models, and this side database feeding with the proved information.
You also talked there, Miro, earlier on about the fact that people are using browser-based tools and they're able to connect from anywhere. I think that brings up another question about, there's been a lot of discussion about people moving to the cloud or working in the cloud. And I think we've seen a shift in recent years of perhaps people looking at, hybrid solutions or working in the cloud when it's appropriate. From your own perspective, what do you think the view is of customers, particularly in news, about working in the cloud?
At the beginning, so there was a really big boom of the cloud solutions, so people on the cloud, on the private, on the public cloud, like Azure. So, of course, this is an option. But from my point of view, it's an option for some small, let's say, temporary productions. But for the news production, where there are stored a lot of informations owned by this television or newsroom, it's really tricky to put it on the public cloud. So from my point of view, or this is some feedback from the customers, so they would like to have everything on-prem. So to have the information and the content under the control. Of course, there are possibility to build it their own cloud with high availability, fault tolerance, etc. So because this is very important. So because when you have, let's say, big organization and you have some centralized system servers, etc., you have to maintain also the fault tolerance and the high availability. So therefore, usually customers building up their own cloud data centers and some, let's say, mirror data center, which is located on completely different location. So just in case of chaos, and they have ability to doing the crossover to the mirror location, let's say. I think because this is the long-term production, the news production is long-term production. So the production system must be stable and must be fault tolerant. Also, this is with the AI, because you have some sensitive information with which you feed the AI engines. So therefore, a lot of organizations asking for point solution. So, for example, in our Traco AI is the solution which can recognize the faces, recognize the object on the video, so doing some extra metadata. So for the video content, and also speech to text translation, semantic search over the translator for transcribed text. So by the way, it's right now where Traco AI is fully integrated with the MediaCentral Cloud. We get a couple of installation of it. So but this is the sensitive content. Everything is transcribed, or translate I the two languages which we are supporting right now. So it's sensitive, and therefore it must be under control of the organization.
I think the other area around, and I'm interested in your view of this, is that when there's discussions about cloud, from particularly for news, you've got to have somewhere to go. You know, if the cloud service is not available, if you're working in general production, okay, that's a problem, but it's not taking you off air. Whereas if you're on news, you know, you're kind of on air, you know, for some stations all of the time, and for others, you know, a lot of the time. So is it that, and also maybe concerns still about security, that really are driving that sense that, you know, we perhaps prefer something either on-prem or in a private data center, do you think?
I'm sure that from the security point of view, the big cloud provider, so it's a lot of options how to secure the content, how to have the secure connections. But also with the private cloud, it's really safety, because you can manage who will be connected via VPN. There's a lot of, say, security software for the access into the environment. So from a security point of view, it's more or less on the browser. So HTTPS is essential for the secure communication, and with security, it's very important.
Let's talk a little bit more about AI. A year ago, you know, I think there was a huge amount of hype around AI. I think that's cooled down a little bit. And so what I think is interesting now, and what I'd be interested in your view, Miro, is it really from your perspective about identifying use cases and then delivering solutions that meet those use cases? Because I think, you know, if you spoke to some people a year ago, it was like, throw AI at it and the world will be wonderful. And I think things have slightly moved on. So I'm interested in your take on that.
Yeah. Everything managed by the AI. We just laying in bed from morning, not the and no. So we are working with AI very carefully. So right now, our use cases for AI, it's what is transcription and translation, object detection, face detection, as I mentioned, and working with these metadata to enrich the content and easily search over the content. So with semantics, so it's not necessary to write down exact word or exact sentences which we were looking for. So just the meaning, and the AI engine will return you all the content which is relevant, which has some relevance. So this is let's say first step, and also as I mentioned, the systems like ChatGPT can help journalists to maybe better express themselves and better verify the sources, the news. So they help them to maybe investigate deeper easily, and this is what they. I think that this is the use cases for AI for now. And of course, we are playing with the AI presenters. So this is some customers' demand. So because during the night, when there are some, let's say, short news, like 5-minute flash news, so they would like to replace real human with some artificial avatar instead of real present engagement. But there are potential risks because those avatars can be like deep fake. So I mean, watcher can recognize whether it's a real person or not, and it could be dangerous for the fake news, this big stuff. Therefore, we decided to do 3D avatar. So everybody will know that this is not the real person. This is 3D. And another reason why we choose the 3D avatar, it's because of virtual reality or augmented reality, because we can place the virtual 3D avatar into the real space, for example, and be interactive.
Yeah, it's an interesting approach that you mentioned there. And I don't know if you can talk about the detail of the difference of a 2D and a 3D and how that's actually being done, the kind of work that you're doing just now.
Yeah, because this 2D avatar, it's something like which it comes from the picture or from the video of real presenter with the morphing and warping techniques. They can emulate, let's say, native movement, lip sync, etc., etc. But with 3D avatar, of course, we have ability to scan real people or real person, but we have to map this texture from the scan to the 3D model, and of course, with really powerful hardware, it can be really native, but right now in the current hardware, it's for the real-time presentation, it looks something like a really powerful game. But I think that the watcher can recognize this is the avatar, this is not the real people. I don't know, a lot of customers would like to have realistic presenter, but of course with the 3D, you right now can't change the angle of view or replace the avatar to the real studio. With 3D, it's very easy because with the 3D avatar, you can take the camera standard way, as in virtual studio or in reality studio. So there are a lot of tracking systems, and you can render this 3D avatar fly. So it's real-time rendering. So it depends on the organization what they would like to achieve.
Yeah, it's interesting the example that you gave there about short bulletins, at times when, perhaps it's overnight and things like that. So people are not looking at it at the moment as a way of replacing real presenters. They're looking at it as an addition to other things. Because there obviously is concern about AI. You've talked about it yourself, about what is fake news, what are deep fakes and things like that as well.
Yeah, I think it's very handy for shows. So, for example, put 3D dancer as a background for the singer or something like this. So, but for the news, it's a little bit tricky because when you have really, let's say, wrong modeled avatar for the news as a news presenter, might look. But with realistic virtual presenter, it's so we are balancing on the edge with the fake, whether it's fake or not.
Yeah, because I think that's another aspect, isn't it, about even labeling that the presenter is AI generated, for example. We've done an episode of the podcast beforehand where we spoke to some people who were involved in creating weather reports, for example, and they have thousands of localized weather reports, and it uses a synthetic voice. And I think these kind of things, they're reasonable use cases as long as people are aware that that's what they're doing. So Miro, what's your own view of the sort of next developments in the use of AI? So we've talked about where you are today and the work that you're doing, but what do you think the future is?
So in the future, I think the more AI will be deployed for this news organization and television. So simply, there are a lot of let's say television and media organization is growing, and a lot of new organization, and there is the lack of professionals. And this is the great opportunity for AI to replace some of them. So because when you just reducing the cost of firing people and replace it with AI, I think this is not a really great idea. So we have to do it in a very sensitive way. So, but when you create a new media company and you would like to hire new professionals, so there is a chance to place there the artificial intelligence instead for some positions. There are some customers which would like the fully automated control room, and some of them like to have a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the whole thing, isn't it? It's about using AI in ways that benefit the audience, but also using it in ways that can enable journalists to work more effectively and efficiently. I think that's the overarching theme for what we've kind of talked about today. So, Miro, there's a final question, which I think which I ask everyone on the podcast, which is, what is it, if anything, that keeps you up at night?
I'm trying to sleep well, so therefore I'm drinking before sleeping prior to night. So, but many times I wake up during the night and I have my mobile phone close to my head just for doing some notes. Question for engineering, the new thing. This is it.
Thanks a lot to Miro for sharing his views. What do you think? Let us know by adding a review or by commenting on the various Avid social channels. Check out the show notes for more information about AI in MediaCentral, which was showcased at IBC recently, and for an in-depth blog on how Avid is used in news channels across India. That's all for now. Thanks to our producer Matt Diggs and to Miro for being such an interesting guest. Most of all, thanks of course to you for listening. My name is Craig Wilson. Join us next time for more Making the Media.